Welcome aboard. Chapter 3, Shinobi Way Year 1. The following morning found Naruto in a forest clearing less than a mile out of the capital city of the Fire Nation. He sat in a lotus position and meditated while waiting for his new student to arrive. It didn't surprise him in the slightest when Mai asked to learn from him, especially after the display he gave Ozai and the spectators. During his meditation, he felt the energies of 3 individuals heading toward him. Mai's reason was obvious, but the feeling of Azula and Ty Lee coming slightly confused him. He knew that he only extended the courtesy of teaching to Mai alone, so he didn't have much of an idea as to why the other 2 were coming. However, while not knowing why, he decided not to waste this opportunity to figure out why Azula's energy felt so familiar to him. Opening his eyes, he lifted the hair away from his right eye, revealing a fully mature Sharingan to the world. While using its chakra detection abilities, he thought back as to how he acquired the eye. Flashback to Naruto's 10th year of self-exile. The blonde Jinchuriki sat on the head of the Yondaime, gazing out to the destroyed village. He did this every day after properly burying the bodies of his loved ones, and only moved when he felt the need to train, eat, or walk through the village ruins. Over the years, he had scavenged scrolls from the various clans of Konoha, and stored them all in a scroll that he kept hidden in a seal on the top of his left hand. The history of the people of Konoha would die with its last citizen, him. During his gazing, he felt the energies of a group of ipizod heading towards the destroyed village gates. Narrowing his eyes, Naruto pulled out a single kunai and disappeared in a flash of lightning before reappearing in the center of the village. He kept his narrowed gaze on the approaching shinobi, and thought to himself, if they think they'll find any secrets in this place, then they are dead wrong. The group of ipizod shinobi totaled at about 50 members, with all of them in groups of 10. The leader of them noticed Naruto and grinned maliciously. Well boys, look at what we have here. A relic from a once powerful village. Ha! What are you doing here, Namikaze scum? Naruto's response was to chuck the kunai in his hand at incredible speed. The knife flew at the man while covered in Raitun chakra, making him tense before using Kawarimi to avoid taking the hit. Naruto glared at them and ground out, "This village has suffered enough for one lifetime. Leave now, or join the everlasting calm of the dead." The shinobi nearly chuckled at Naruto's warning before they all flew through hand seals, and called out, Doton Doryuden, Earth Dragon. From the ground, 50 dragons made of jagged rocks rose up and flew at the blonde shinobi. Naruto gave them a blank look before pouring chakra into his right pointer finger. In midair, he began to form the kanji for earth and void before he formed a circle around the symbol. The floating seal pulsed brown as Naruto muttered, Fuinjutsu, Tsuchi Fuji Hoho, Earth Sealing Method. The many dragons were met with a brown barrier that absorbed their power, causing them to disappear, and the ipizod shinobi to gape in shock. Naruto glared at them with slit red eyes. My turn. In a blur of black and red, the last Uzumaki tore through 20 of the shinobi, and sliced off each of their left arms. The men cried out in shock and agony while clutching their bloody stumps. However, one of them managed to swing a kunai at the blonde. When Naruto reappeared behind the ipizod, he held his right hand up to his bloody eye and snarled in pain and anger. Damn it! I got careless and it cost me. He raged in his mind while Kyuubi tried to do damage control. To the fox's shock, its Yuki was drastically weakened due to a foreign substance in Naruto's wound. Kit, there was something on that kunai that's blocking me from completely healing it. What? What the hell could have he started before he remembered that Orochimaru had come up with a serum that screwed with a Jinchuriki's healing. He growled in rage and asked his tenant, damn that fucking snake to hell. Is there any way to repair it? Not immediately. Unless. The great fox mused to itself. Unless what, Kurama? Naruto pressed as he hid behind some rubble since the ipizod grew confident at the blow Naruto had received. It's a stretch, but I want you to call out that Raven Itachi had you swallow. Naruto's eyes widened in surprise as he asked, I still have that thing in me? I thought it flew off after it used the Kotoama Tsukumi, distinguished heavenly gods. Yes, you still have it. Now, create a Kage Bunshin to pluck the eye out of the raven, along with your slashed eye. Naruto complied and had a Kage Bunshin form, while focusing his chakra to find a source reminiscent of Itachi's. When he found it, he used his to pull it out, causing a raven with Shursui Uchiha Sharingan to wriggle out of his mouth. Okami-sama, I forgot how disgusting that was. Alright, all that's left is to have your clone switch out the eyes, and I'll use my Yuki to handle the rest. The next thing the ipegywenin heard was a cry of immense pain coming from one of the wrecked buildings. He's over there, yelled one as he launched many boulders towards the rubble. When the rubble got demolished by the boulders, the ipegywenin smirked before they heard heavy breathing. They all turned to see Naruto, who was leaning on another piece of rubble for support, and had blood dripping from the right side of his face. They all chuckled at his beaten look before he raised his head and glared at them with his blue and red eyes. Staring at them, inside of a scarred eye socket, was a fully mature Sharingan. How is that possible? How the fuck does he have a damn Sharingan? Sharingan? One of them asked in fear. From Naruto's mindscape, the Kyuubi told the blonde, Kit, you should know that my Yuki changed the genetic structure of the eye. Before you ask, that means that Shursue's Kotoama Tsukumi has been replaced with a different Uchiha power. What exactly was it replaced with? And what will happen if I try Manjikyu? Even I don't know the answers to those questions. You'll have to see for yourself, Kit. Naruto mentally nodded before he focused chakra into his Sharingan. His eye seemed to become completely red before his Manjikyu revealed itself to the Iwa shinobi. The scara of the right eye became blood red, his pupil became pitch black, and the once black Tomo turned crimson. Alright, let's see what happens, he mused to himself before he was met with a few more Doryuden from the intruders. Something from the eye called out to his mind and he felt his body distort before the many earth dragons phased right through him, as if he wasn't even there too. Naruto released the distorted feeling before he glared murderously at the frightened Iwa shinobi. Get the fuck out of my birth home. He raged before he charged. Present time. Naruto shook his head from the memories and focused on Azula's energy. He felt a dark chakra from her, although it was civilian-sized at the most. The feeling came from only one group of people that Naruto would never forget. Uchiha. He murmured as the girls entered the clearing. Luckily, they didn't hear him, so he addressed Mai. I thought that I was only teaching you? Mai was about to answer, but Azula cut her off. And just why exactly does Mai alone get the honor of being taught by you? Naruto narrowed his visible eye at her and retorted, I chose Mai, therefore she alone will be taught by me. A girl like you, who has many teachers and tutors at her beck and call, does not need my guidance. Azula scowled at him while Ty Lee nervously asked, Well, what about me? Naruto gave her a calculative glance before answering, I'll give you a few exercises to help you better defend yourself, but don't expect anything else from me. Do you understand? The brunette nodded before Naruto took out a random scroll and tossed it to her. When she opened it, she noticed that it was about the human body and the many different pressure points that could either help or harm it. That scroll should help you know where exactly to strike your opponents to take them out swiftly and without killing them. Actually, training your body to be able to strike efficiently will be up to you, Ty Lee, Naruto explained to her. Ty Lee squealed in gratitude and crashed into the blonde to hug him. Due to his larger stature and honed reflexes, he remained standing with no problem. The girl then went to a nearby tree to study her scroll. Azula rounded on the blonde, I don't understand why you refuse to teach me. I already answered you, you already have plenty of people to help you. My teachings would be wasted on you anyway, since your chakra levels are far too low for me to even think of doing so. Mai chose this moment to ask, what's chakra? He turned to her and answered, it's the energy within all things that allows them to call upon incredible power, depending on how much a person has. It's also as important as blood or oxygen since a person without chakra is dead. Why have I never felt it? The answer is because you never consciously drew upon it. You've been living on the bare minimum, so you never felt anything new. When we actually tap into your chakra for the first time, then you'll feel it. He then gazed at Mai with his Sharingan to see her chakra levels, causing her eyes to widen in surprise. I thought I only imagined that I. But why does he have different eyes? Well, Mai, it appears that you have chakra levels of a high genin, surprising for one who hasn't accessed their chakra yet. Ooh. What about my levels? Ty Lee called out. Naruto turned his gaze to her and shook his head. Unfortunately, you barely have low genin reserves, Ty Lee. I can't help you access your chakra any more than giving you a small burst of energy that will immediately have you exhausted to the point of needed bed rest. The girl pouted at his response but waved it off in favor of the scroll in her hands. Azula then asked, what would happen if I tapped into this chakra you're talking about? You'd die from chakra exhaustion, plain and simple. Your reserves are too low to use except for bare minimum use to survive. I can't teach you even if I wanted to, Azula. Azula scowled at that before leaving in a huff. Naruto sighed in slight relief along with Mai, causing them to look at one another in confusion and Ty Lee to giggle. When they turned to her, she commented, wow, you guys are already acting like teacher and student. Naruto shook his head in amusement while Mai muttered, troublesome. Now Mai, I want you to sit in a meditative position like I am, Naruto said to his student. Mai complied and sat in a lotus position like the blonde man in front of her. Okay, I'm guessing you want me to clear my mind or something like that. Not exactly. I want you to calm yourself, but I also want you to try and sense your inner chakra. It should feel like a hidden well of energy waiting to burst out. When you feel it, I want you to pull it out and spread it throughout your body. Understand? She nodded before closing her eyes and began to breathe slowly. Naruto was helping her by watching her chakra levels with the Uchiha Dojutsu, while Ty Lee watched on in anticipation. After what felt like forever to the Nara descendant, Mai sighed and said, I can't feel anything. Naruto closed his eyes and thought before deciding that her chakra just needed a jumpstart. So, he poured chakra into his thumbs and beckoned her to him. When she was standing in front of him, he placed his left thumb on her forehead while his right touched her navel. These were the two main chakra points of the body, the mind and the core respectively. He then willed his chakra into her system in search of her own. What he didn't count on was his chakra affecting her reserve levels, pushing them from high genin levels to mid-chunin. Kurama noticed though, but remained silent for the moment. When his chakra found hers, he pulled it out of her core and spread it throughout her body. To Mai, it felt like her body had just received the biggest surge of power she had ever felt. She felt amazing, powerful, and unbeatable. That is until Naruto flicked her on her forehead, causing her concentration to break and her chakra to recede back into her. Why'd you do that? She asked with narrowed eyes, only to meet his stern gaze. If I had allowed you to continue, your chakra would have left your body completely, resulting in death. At her shocked look, he continued, the first thing we will work on, now that you've unlocked your chakra, will be control. He then looked to the sun resting high in the sky and said, we'll continue later today. For now, go eat something and rest. That should restore your reserves by enough to start our first lesson. Mai nodded before she and Ty Lee left for the town. Once they were gone, QB commented, I hope you realize that you actually raised her reserves when you did that little trick of yours? Yeah, I didn't notice immediately, but I felt it before I stopped her from accidentally killing herself. I didn't think my chakra would affect hers in that way though.